Red Sox win their second straight. They shut out the Rays. They take the series. Mazz, I'm still not impressed. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be.
Why?
Because, again, it's not about any one night or two nights. It's about something much bigger than that, and they're still not there yet. They're still playing 500 baseball. They're not scoring on a regular basis. There's still reason to question their approach at the plate. Like, someone asked us last week, I don't know if you remember, and actually it might have been on the baseball hour, so forgive me if it was, but someone said, if they go, what's the minimum expectation on this trip? And I said, 4-2 at a minimum. 5-1 would be better. 6-0 would be obviously be great, but 4-2 is a minimum given the competition. That was gone on Monday. That was out on Monday. They were 1-3 after the first three games. So what? Just because they finished strong and ended up respectably on the road against two teams that they should beat? No, I'm sorry. It's not good enough. It's about stringing it together and grinding it out and playing every day. I've said this a million times. It's a big picture sport. So the fact that they've won two in a row, I've seen two in a row already. What I have yet to see is them string together a period of good play for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 weeks, whatever. I know they haven't played that long yet, but no, not good enough.
Well, I'm more talking about what I saw in the game. Like, you're kind of getting them in trouble for something they haven't done yet.
Well, no, they've played 2 weeks. I mean, they've played 20 games.
Well, no, but what I mean is, like, you're saying you need to see it for a week to we can't put together the future.
Gotcha.
I'm just talking about how they won. They got one run on a lucky line drive that hit the top of the wall on a ball that would not have gone out of any other park in Major League Baseball.
True.
They had 5 hits total.
5 hits total. Thank you, Murray. The weather's warmed up. They have guys in scoring position. They got guys second and third, one out. Can't get them home. They have a leadoff double off a lucky play in right field. Jaron Duran steals third, tries to, gets thrown out.
Did you like that one?
I mean, I don't know. Did they play a clean game? Were there any errors last night?
I don't think there were any errors.
I don't think there were, so maybe that's an improvement. The pitching looked good. The bullpens look better than we thought. Like, I'll definitely give them that. But they still don't look like the team we expected them to be.
Agreed.
And the same problems on offense are the same. Their strikeouts were, they had 7, so their strikeouts were down, but it's only because they were so absurdly high to begin with. It's really more just about they're still swinging out of their ass. They're not playing baseball. You know what I mean? They're just swinging out of their ass. They got one lucky run against a bad team with no lineup. And it's like, I don't know. I still don't feel or look like the team I thought they'd be, even in victory.
No, they're not, because they're not. And again, there's too many holes in the lineup. There's too much inconsistency overall. And I know you're talking about the game last night. It wasn't an impressive win. To me, I was just looking this up because I was curious. I wanted to know. The best part of that game last night is it was 2-17. Boom, it moved. Now, you want to say they pitched well last night. I would say, again, bad team, but overall, they struck out a lot of guys. I will say, I thought Slayton at the end of that game looked filthy.
And Whitlock.
Filthy, yeah.
Both those guys
Well, starting with Weissert, Whitlock, Slayton, I think they had 9 strikeouts and 3 in the third. Like, that was really good.
So Whitlock, the only reason I say it that way is because Whitlock, I know what his ceiling is when he's right. And
well, that's felt like 2 years since he's really been
right. I agree, but I know that he can look like that. The Slayton's breaking ball last night that O'Brien was talking about was insane. I mean, that was absolutely dynamite. So, do they have a couple of weapons there potentially at the end of the game when he's on? Yeah, I think overall the bullpen's been okay. They went through a little stretch there where they were, grinded a little bit too. But I'm not impressed with the positional lineup. I'm not. And I don't know, I don't know what they can do to fix some of the offensive problems. I don't think Rafael is going to hit ever. And I'm worried about Casas.
So that's where I'm getting to. Even though they've won the last couple, I still think you're looking at it, Mazz. Well, you tell me. Do they need to make changes?
I think they are approaching that, yes. So again, nothing in baseball happens quickly, right? Nothing. And that's a problem with it. But, generally speaking, you got to give guys a few weeks to see what they look like.
Right.
Everybody, anybody can have a bad couple of weeks. In fact, most everybody does at some point in the season. In fact, it might happen multiple times. But looking at their roster and looking at some of the players, do I think they have holes and do they have guys that I'm worried about? The answer is yes.
Costas has been a problem from day one after they probably tried to trade him in the offseason. And looks like he may not be the favorite of the manager or the favorite of fans, and he's off to a slow start, and first base, that's a problem. I listened to Jared Krabus on your baseball hour last night about Roman Anthony is ready. He's there. Roman Anthony is there. I'll play the cut for you in a second. But so there's two. Rafi Devers, that whole thing, he's not playing the field, but out of nowhere on the broadcast the other night, Dave O'Brien says, what do you think about him playing first base or getting some reps at first base? Where'd that come from? So it feels like there's some pieces that are moving. Oh, and then Yoshida. Is Yoshida healthy and ready to go?
I mean, I think he's playing.
They're having trouble making contact. The existing team, striking out a ton, trouble making contact. One of their best pure contact hitters, not one of their best hitters, but a guy that generally draws contact, is just sitting there, maybe ready to go. He's not playing, but what's the end game there? So there's some moving pieces there, Maz. What's going on there? Like what should they be looking to do?
Okay, so I had said this a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to stick with it. Costas was going so bad at that time that I thought the Red Sox should start giving reps to Roman Anthony at first base. That's what I thought they should do at AAA. Start getting him reps there. And when the time comes, if Costas isn't any better, bring Anthony up, let him play first base. They have not started that yet, but the thing that O'Brien brought up about Devers getting, taking grounders at first and starting to work in over there is connected. Because if Devers goes and plays first base, that means Costas is out of the lineup. Either way, Costas is getting pushed out. And DH is now open. So is that Yoshida or is that Anthony? Which one? My answer would be Anthony. I would rather go there. I think he's going to give you a lot of the same stuff. He's going to give you more output. He's going to give you more sizzle if you're looking for that. And he's more of a long-term gain. So I would lean that way. But, yeah, I would do something like that. Casas and Rafaela, to me, would be the first two guys I'd toss out.
Okay, I feel like even though they've won the last couple, these clouds are building. These issues are circling. And we may be looking at some roster changes already here. Lineup changes already. 20 games in, 10-10, and the hitting is just way below what it should be. And Cora gave Fazio, the hitting coach, the other day a vote of confidence, I guess, in a fashion. But there's these other things, again, these sort of dribs and drabs, including Roman Anthony. Here's Jared Carabas last night on the Baseball Hour on the readiness of Roman Anthony.
With Roman Anthony, I sent you the graphic, Tony. He has nothing left to prove at the AAA level. Like, he beat the game. Like, we're not just talking like, hey, he's doing well. No. Like, he's in the 97 to 100 percentile in so many different offensive categories. It's time to graduate. And I don't know if it's going to be this weekend. If it were me, get him up here. Because what I said to you, when people are freaking out about the Red Sox and the offense and, what does the team look like? What's the identity? What's wrong with the Red Sox? This is not the Red Sox yet. The real Red Sox, the real 2025 Boston Red Sox. Again, it's a reminder to everyone listening, it's mid-April. And I always say this when we're doing the podcast, we're talking about different storylines in April or in spring training. Once we get to August, September, even October, it's crazy to think about what the team looked like in April.
Totally different.
What was important to us, things that were talking points that who cares now at this point. So Roman Anthony is going to get called. We're not talking about an if or a maybe. It's a when and how soon. And it should be very soon in the case of Roman Anthony.
Okay, so knocking at the door, like knocking at the door.
Pounding at the door, says Carabas.
So just give me that second cut. Again, more on this real Red Sox, a team that you're ultimately going to be. When is that coming? It could be sooner than later. Go ahead, Kev.
When you have Roman Anthony coming up, number one prospect in baseball, and Marcelo Meyer right behind him, that's going to be the real Boston Red Sox. That's going to be the real 2025 team, is when you have Meyer at second base, Campbell's going to have to move to the outfield, and then Roman Anthony's going to be out there too. It's an entirely different team than the one that we've watched for the first 3 weeks.
Okay,
Is that going to be coming sooner than later because they can't hit?
I would hope so. If they get now again, where's the line? I don't know, but I would hope so. I just sent you something on your phone, and it's the thing that Carabas sent me.
I left my effing phone in the other room.
Okay,
but
good.
I was just going to ask you, what was he talking about with this graph and 97 percentile and
So that's what I sent you. But yesterday on Twitter, apparently on social media, Baseball Savant does a thing where they rate players in all these categories, and there's a rating of, poor, average, and great. Okay, and great is basically 90th percentile and above when you rank in the top 10% of a certain category. I'm just going to show you this from a distance. Roman Anthony's chart is all red.
Yeah.
Red is great.
is it based on how he's performing in the minor leagues currently?
Correct. It's all his rating. So just to give you, and some of these numbers are going to make your head explode. I'm just going to give you the percentile.
Give it to me, Milliken.
Okay, weighted on base, 89th percentile. Expected weighted on base, 100 percentile.
Love those. So is mine.
Average exit velocity.
My expected penis size is 8.5 inches, Murray.
100th percentile. Exit velocity, 97th percentile. Max exit velocity, 96th percentile. Barrel percentage, how much frequently he squares up the ball. This is a big one, which I'll explain in a minute.
I know it.
100th percentile.
Wow.
Okay, so he is
Barreling more balls than anyone else in minor league baseball.
right. And from what Milliken and Carabas and all the geeks tell me and all the nerds tell me, Ohtani and Judge in the big leagues, their barrel percentage is in the low 20s. Okay, 22, 23%. They're the best in the game. But they hit the ball on the meat of the bat, one out of every, I don't know if that's 5 swings or 5 at-bats or whatever.
Right.
But that is the best in the game. Roman Anthony's number in the minors right now is approaching 40%. Double that rate. It's like 38%.
Wow.
So he's hitting everything. He's hitting everything hard. His on base is like 440. His slugging percentage is in the 500 or 600 area, might even be higher. So he's hammering the ball, hammering it. So Jared says it's time. Bring him up.
When Jared was saying this, was the desk moving at all? Go ahead.
With Roman Anthony, I sent you the graphic, Tony. He has nothing left to prove at the AAA level. Like, he beat the game. Like, we're not just talking like, hey, he's doing well. No. Like, he's in the 97 to 100 percentile.
Was the desk actually moving? He beat the game.
He was getting breathy there.
Well, no, the desk wasn't moving, but I did see his hands underneath the desk.
Jesus. But be that as it may, the offense is way underperforming. Guys are looming. Guys that you started the season with, you probably don't believe in the first place. Tristan Casas, perhaps. And even though they've won the last couple, you're getting to a point here now, 20 games in, changes should be coming. I mean, should they start evolving to being the team that they're ultimately going to be with Roman Anthony, Marcelo Mayer, etc. Campbell in the outfield full-time, that thing.
Yes. I mean, I'm already there. Rafaela, to me, is I look at Rafaela now, and I start there because he's in center. Okay? I look at him and I say, what did they give him that contract for? Why? Why was there a need to sign him? He was never one of their premium prospects. He was a guy that played well in the minor leagues, surprised some people, but he was never going to be a superstar, I don't think. And I'm not telling you he doesn't have a place in the big leagues, but that felt like an overpay. That was a guy they didn't need to sign at that time, no matter how cheap it was. So I look at Rafaela and say, he's a bench player. I think he belongs on the bench. And if Casas doesn't get squared away fast, he's playing himself out of a spot. He's been in the big leagues now for parts of 4 seasons, going back to the end of 2022, then 23 and 24, albeit with injuries. There's been some good stuff in there, but at no point has he given you a consistent full season. Not one. And his defense isn't any better. Which is another thing I have concerns about with some of these young guys. They're not getting better. They might be getting worse.
So, maybe it was McCarthy last night I was listening to. He was basically saying they tried to move him in the offseason. Would take it from me. Trust me. He wasn't reporting it, but he kind of was. That they were out on him to begin with. And just the way this whole thing started. So they don't deal him. They give him the shot. And he's done nothing with it. I mean, obviously. And then O'Brien out of nowhere Devers going to be Hey, what do you think about Devers taking grounders at first, Lou?
It was interesting.
Like, out of nowhere. So that feels like that's coming or that's somewhere on the radar. If Anthony's performance is even half of what those numbers suggest and what all those graphics and metrics are saying, it's time there. Mayer, you tell me where he's at, but we obviously see the holes in the lineup. So we all know what the team's going to become. Is it time for it to become it?
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.